Hi, everyone. We're here today at the historic Plaza Theater where we just finished filming another podcast for y'all. Here at the Plaza with the Far Off Broadway players. Don't miss it.
What would you like us to know about the regular type of season that happens for the Far Off Broadway players?
Sure. Since 2006, the Far Off Broadway players have been producing shows here at the Plaza Theater. As you well know, the Plaza was closed for many years. Then the renovations and everything started in about 2005. And the first play for the Far Off Broadway players was 2006. At the time, they used to do 3 plays here a year. Now we do between 4 and 5 plays a year, depending on the season and the schedule and how difficult the plays are that we're actually putting up. Sometimes if you have a very, very, very difficult play with a large cast, we can't really do more than 4 of those a year. Partly because there's only so many volunteers and only so many people locally who can help us out. And secondly, they're expensive and they take a lot of work. So they do.
Exactly, we understand.
Yes, so between 4 and 5. This year in 2006, we're doing 4 plays here.
Okay. And that's your typical run, give or take.
Give or take, yes.
The historic theater is amazing. It's amazing to sit here. I think it's, every time I come in, I forget how beautiful it is.
I forget how big it is.
Yeah.
It is huge.
So there's a little over 1,000 seats here.
Yes, I think it's 1,028, I'm pretty sure. I think there's a little less than 800, 790 something on the main floor, and then the rest are in the balcony.
And there's a variety of shows here throughout the year. They offer music events. They offer a variety of things. I think we'll put up a link for you all to check out their calendar to stay in the know, because I think they add things all the time.
100%.
But for you all, just give us a typical example of what a show here might be like for someone attending. You all offer not just one night of shows, but kind of go through what you all, a weekend of shows, I think, is what you all normally do.
Well, for us, for the Far Off Broadway players, we usually do what we call a load-in. And and it's the term that they use. And the load-in means we bring all of our set, our costumes, our props, and all of our people, and we usually have one day to put everything up. So that usually is either the Saturday or the Sunday, the weekend before we open a show the following weekend. So it's a lot of work, takes a lot of volunteers, a lot of people who can run a buzzsaw or run a screw gun and understand how to put all this stuff together. And we have such a great group. I mean, our volunteers, we probably have somewhere between 20 to 30 pretty dedicated people who we rotate in and out to help us with this stuff. And much like the Plaza Theater itself is run by a lot of volunteers. They have, I think, 2 full-time employees, and the Far Off Broadway players have 1 full-time employee, and that's me. Then after we get the set built and everything on the stage, we bring in a lighting designer. And then the lighting designer comes in, and his name is Jed Downing. We've used him for several years now. He's out of Nashville. Professional lighting designer. Used to be on the road with Diamond Rio. He was their resident, tour light manager for years and years and years and years and years. But he just loves theater. And I met him at a concert that was here at the Plaza, and I just happened to mention doing theater. He was like, I haven't done that for years. And I think that was in 2018, 2019, and he's been doing our lighting for our shows ever since.
How fortuitous.
It
yes.
is.
Yes.
And, of course, we have to pay him for his light design, but he's brilliant. So we sit down with the light board and the script, and we go one light cue at a time, and he designs them. The Plaza has a state-of-the-art lighting system here that we take full advantage of as a theater company. And He just knows exactly. Sometimes I'll say, I remember we did the play Frankenstein, and I said, I want you to paint this black curtain back here and make the Swiss Alps. And he was like, okay. So he said, that might take me a few minutes. I said, all right, I'll wait. So in about 20 minutes, he, using lighting, created the Swiss Alps on those black curtains behind us, just with lights. And that's the kind of stuff.
Amazing,
It is amazing to watch. And now he and I have it down to pretty much of a science. When we sit down and we do the lighting design for a show, we get everything done. Sometimes it's 10 hours. Sometimes it takes us 2 days to do lights for a show. And then once the lighting is done.
Well, can we stop? Can I stop
I'm
you
sorry,
here?
you asked me the process, and I can go on and on and on and on.
We're just gonna break for a bit of a make sure we're understanding this. So we're a week away from shows beginning.
Sure.
And we've had the load in.
Yep.
We've had a day or two of light design.
Yes.
Okay, and we're still like 4 days away or so from the.
Correct.
Okay. I was just thinking when you were talking about load in day, I guess what most people could relate to, probably most people in the world have been involved in some sort of wedding.
Of course.
And what an event that becomes.
Yes.
So I cannot imagine how much more so all the sets that have been built, the layers of props, costuming, everything that has to be loaded in.
Yes.
Before we even, And now, please continue.
Yeah, I mean,
I just wanted to make
Yeah,
sure
this
we're.
is something a lot of people probably don't realize. The amount of work and preparation and, days, weeks, maybe even months ahead of time.
Oh, yeah.
that has
put
gone
on
into.
a production.
Yeah.
Well, I promise I'll try to be short. We plan our seasons a year in advance.
Right.
We have to.
Sure.
And so while we're planning out our seasons, because Far Off Broadway Players is a 501c3 nonprofit. So we have a board of directors. So we'll sit down at a board meeting and we'll discuss plays and what do we want to do next year. And then finally, we get it narrowed down to a certain number of plays and we vote on our season, and that's it. And then from there, we start planning, okay, what are we going to need for sets on this one? What are we going to need for costuming on this one? And what we try to do is pick shows where we don't have to really buy a lot of stuff.
Sure.
We already have the costumes, or
Right.
we already have these great, walls.
Right.
We already,
Reduction of duplication as much
correct.
as possible.
100%. So when we, and we also have some great businesses who, hey, you want to borrow this? Sure, you can borrow this sofa, you can borrow this desk, you can borrow whatever. We have a lot of our own stuff, but sometimes there's a piece of furniture that
You just need.
we just need and we don't have
Yeah.
it, right? So anyway, once everything is ready for our actors, we get them in microphones, and we do what we call Tech Week. And
Okay.
Tech Week is sitting in here. Tech Week is not for the actors. Tech Week is for our lighting person, our sound person, and in our backstage people, our crews, because they haven't had a chance to rehearse as much as our actors have. So we have to make sure that the light cues are right, the sound sounds good, and everything else that we do for the show sounds good. And then we do our Thursday night is usually what we call our final dress rehearsal. And the final dress rehearsal this is it, everyone. This is the last time we're going to get a chance to do this before an audience walks in here. And we run the show just like as if it was an actual performance. And then we open. And we do Friday nights. We do 2 shows on the Saturdays, like a 2 p.m. and a 7 p.m. show. And then we finish up our weekend of shows with a matinee on a Sunday at 2 o'clock. So that's pretty much been the recipe and the way we've been doing it for a long time.
And everyone is exhausted.
Oh, my, yes. Oh, my, yeah. It's a lot. I mean, the play we're working on right now, which is called Moonlight and Magnolias, we have been rehearsing for about 8 weeks already. But the set pieces that are being built were delivered today. So I was over there this morning. And now we have to paint them and decorate them and get them all ready so that next Saturday we can bring all the
in,
stuff
right.
over here and build everything on the stage and get started on another show. It's
Wow.
it's a fun process because when you think about it, you start with words on a page,
Right.
just typed out words,
Black and white.
and you create something three-dimensional out of it for everyone to enjoy. And it's a really, I've been doing this a
magical.
long time.
Right.
It's a magical experience.
It's
it really
magical.
is.
And then when you walk out on Sunday, as exhausted as you are, that is not the end of it, I would guess.
No, well,
Because you can't just leave all this stuff here for the wonderful people at the Plaza to contend with. There has to be an unload day.
well, it's called strike.
Strike day. There you go.
Yep. So we have load in and then strike. Strike is, hey, I know we spent all this time putting all of this stuff together and building all of these things, and okay, let's tear it all down now.
Mm-hmm.
And usually, let's say the show ends at 4 o'clock. Usually by 6:30 that night, the stage is empty.
Wow, you do it that day. Mm-hmm. Wow.
So usually right after the show on Sunday, we have to get, because the Plaza Theater has other events.
That's right.
Sure.
They have
And
things.
we have to get the stage clear for them. So we try our best to, once we get the stage clear, we sweep it and mop it up and try to get it nice and clean as it was when we actually moved in here, right? So, but that's pretty much the whole process.
Well, it's a big one.
It is.
It's a big one. And you and I had talked briefly off camera the other day about the younger generations looking for more things that are analog to do.
Sure.
Things that we do in person, that we interact, that we see people who are doing real things. So theater and probably anything that would be on this stage here at the Plaza is a great opportunity to have so many in-person experiences.
Yeah.
And when we talk about analog was harder than things
Okay.
are now. And everything you've just said, is, thank you for explaining all of that, because that's a great example of how much goes into what we do in person.
Uh-huh.
Sometimes now it's a lot more, there's a lot more work behind the scenes, or there always has been, but we don't think about it
Sure.
the way we used to.
I find it, I grew up with, my dad was an electrician. So I grew up helping my dad wire houses from the time I was probably 8, 9 years old up until probably 16. And he would say, I need you this Saturday. And I would go, okay. So off we would go to some house, and he had me crawling into the crawl spaces because he didn't want to crawl in there, But such a rewarding experience when, we rough wire a house and we'd flip the switch and everything would come on. And I know my dad had a lot of pride. He would look at that and said, I did that. And sometimes, our actors and our directors and me and our tech crews and everybody involved, we get a show up and they see pictures from it and they hear the audience roar and they look at each other and say, we did this.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's an accomplishment
It really is.
of grit and determination and perseverance and commitment,
100%.
all the things.
The thing about, boy,
And talent. Let's not forget talent. But
live performances. Talking about the Plaza Theater here and the analog experiences, it's a shame that a lot of people in this area have never walked in here. And all it takes is once. There's nothing that excites me more when I'm standing in the lobby and somebody walks in and says, hey, I'm from Madison, Indiana. I saw an ad for this on Facebook, and we just had to come down and check this out. This place is unbelievable.
Yeah.
And they would go, you are so lucky to have this beautiful historic theater here in town.
we 100% agree.
Yeah. And,
yeah.
and then they talk about our show. And, I had a couple from Louisville that came down and saw our last show, Jane Austen's Lady Susan. And his wife and him came down. They saw on Facebook, and they came down and they were like, this is unbelievable. And after the show, they said, this is community theater? This is really good stuff. And I'm like, yeah. Bands who come in here and, You have not experienced a live band until you see it here at the Plaza. The sound in here is amazing. And there are so many wonderful artists that have performed here over the years that I have been so fortunate to see and experience. And local events. People don't realize just how much the Plaza Theater is used for local dance recitals, for special events. The TJ Community Mission Foundation, their lip sync battle every year, which brings people in here, right? I mean, there are so many wonderful local events that this place is used for as well. And that's the way we consider ourselves, you know, a local community theater group who are so incredibly blessed to have a stage like this and a facility like this to do theater in.
Right.
And so we just want to tell everybody, boy, if you haven't been here, you know, these places aren't just magically, they don't just magically appear. And, you know, and if people don't frequent them and come out, they're going to go away, you know?
They're not sustained if we don't. I'm just sitting here on this side of the conversation, thinking about everything you're doing on that side of, you know, providing live entertainment, and thinking, gosh, the least I can do is buy a ticket and hang out for a little while with my friend. I mean, that's I'm being entertained.
100%.
I'm hanging out with my friends, and yes, seeing quality productions
100%
here.
Yes.
In a beautiful place that places like this just are not built anymore.
They aren't.
And so, for on this side of it, it seems like it's a no-brainer. Why wouldn't you?
Yep.
You know, especially considering all the effort that has gone on
100%
by groups like you all that put on opportunities for us to be entertained here. So thanks for explaining all of that and sharing like what you all do. We want people to listen to this again and again, but we do want to know what your upcoming year looks like.
Okay. Okay. Sure.
The shows.
Well, the Plaza has a lot of great events coming up.
Sure.
For sure. So you can go to the website historicplaza.com for our shows and every other show that's coming up here at the Plaza. And what you'll notice is that there are sometimes some of the local events like the dance recitals and things like that. A lot of them aren't necessarily on the website. A lot of the stuff, some of the stuff is local. So it's not, it's kept local, if that makes sense.
Right.
A lot of,
Sure.
you know, but we have a show opening on the 24th of April called Moonlight and Magnolias, which is a comedy, and it's a really funny comedy, and it's based on the writing of the screenplay for the movie Gone with the Wind.
How clever.
So what we're doing is we're showing the movie the weekend before. So on April 17th, the Plaza Theater is kind of helping us out as a fundraising effort, and they brought in the movie. And what we're going to do is we're going to do the 1939 Glasgow premiere of Gone with the Wind. So we're going to have actors here who are going to be Scarlett O'Hara, Olivia de Havilland, Leslie Howard, and Clark Gable.
So much fun.
Red carpet. And
the screen will come down.
The screen will
stage.
come down, and we'll show the movie, and then we'll also have our actors for Moonlight and Magnolias. The producer, whose name is David O. Selznick, so the actor who portrays him is going to be here. The director, whose name is Victor Fleming. Side note, he also directed the Wizard of Oz movie that everybody loves. But the actor who plays him is Nick Swain, and so Victor Fleming will be here. The screenwriter, one of the screenwriters, Ben Hecht, is the actual one of the screenwriters for Gone with the Wind. He's played by Nick Hudson, so he'll be here as well. And then David Selznick's secretary, whose name in the play is Miss Poppingule, will also be here. So we're going to have a VIP experience. If you want to buy that, it's $25, and all the money goes to benefit the Far Off Broadway Players as a fundraiser event. So you'll be able to get here a little earlier than everybody else in the Casablanca room of the Plaza. They're going to have champagne. They'll have a grazing board. You'll be able to talk with the stars, Clark Gable and Olivia de Havilland. And,
how many times
Vivian
do you have
Lee.
that opportunity in
well,
life?
there you go,
you
right?
know?
So our actors are going to play those roles and have a little fun there. And then the following weekend, we're going to have the play. So it's kind of like watch the movie, and then see a little bit of the behind the scenes of what actually happens. So I'll keep this quick. The story goes that David Selznick, the producer of Gone with the Wind, couldn't stand the way it was going. He couldn't stand the screenplay. He hated it. Production had already been going on for a while in Georgia. He shut production down of the movie, basically took the screenplay and threw it in the trash, brought in another screenwriter, Ben Hecht, another director, Victor Fleming. He lured him to his office in Hollywood, locked the door.
Of course, as one does.
And for 5 days, all they ate, this is factual, peanuts and bananas for 5 days. And in 5 days, they reworked and rewrote the screenplay for Gone with the Wind. At the end of 5 days, what we see in the movie is what happened in that room.
Wow. It's a great story.
What a great story.
So you can imagine 5 days eating peanuts and bananas, locked in a room. The only person that comes and goes is the secretary who brings in more peanuts or more bananas.
No wonder they didn't give a damn at the end.
So that's my point.
I don't
right?
know if that's a punchline in the play, but
I can't give too much away.
That's right. You can kind of see where.
Well, they act out the book, like Margaret Mitchell's book, because the screenwriter is there on a typewriter trying to type this stuff out.
I cannot imagine. Yeah.
So they're reading the book, and they're trying to say how they're going to do that on screen, and it's hilarious.
I bet it's so
funny. They play, like, one of the guys plays Scarlet, and then the other guy plays Clark Gable, and Prissy, and all the different characters throughout, Ashley Wilkes, all that kind of
yeah.
Ashley. Anyway, but it's glorious. It's a really, really fun play. So I hope everybody. Now, I will tell you, it is kind of PG-13.
Sure.
There is some adult themes and adult language in it.
As is with the movie.
Well, sure. So just, know that, when you, especially after day 2 or 3, when these guys are tired and they haven't slept and they're exhausted.
Their filter's gone.
The filter's gone and they start, So, but anyway, and then this summer, actually beginning May 19th, I do this every year. I teach acting workshops. So if you've always wanted to try it, or did some stuff in high school, but this one is all comedy, so it's a comedic acting workshop. It's a 12-session thing over 6 weeks. So and we're going to work 10-minute scenes from really wonderful plays.
Cool.
And we're going to work on the acting and the comedy and the best way to get comedy. And at the end, we're going to have a showcase.
Oh, fun.
And we're going to air, and we're going to let people come and see all the work that these actors have been doing in the workshop.
Yes.
In August, I can probably let this cat out of the bag. We are doing a ginormous fundraiser for the Far Off Broadway players. We've never done one before. It is going to be at the Hidden Homestead, which is a facility located kind of between Smiths Grove and Park City. It's just over the Edmonson County line, but it's basically a wedding entertainment venue, but it's gorgeous. So we're going to do a show called Something Blue. It is a mystery dinner theater event. So what we're looking for businesses and corporations really to do is to buy tables, and they will actually be wedding guests at this wedding.
Oh, that's fun.
In which one of the bridesmaids disappears.
Uh-oh.
Dun,
Okay.
dun, dun. And then it's up to everyone to figure out what happened to her. So it's funny, and I think people are going to really have a good time. There's going to be a great meal, beverages, you name it. I think people are going to have a really great time at it, and the whole thing is to benefit us and Far Off Broadway players. And then in October we're doing Dracula.
Ooh.
Yep.
Okay.
And then one of our favorites, we brought it back for Christmas. We're doing It's a Wonderful Life.
Oh.
Yeah. So that's our season.
Yeah.
Sounds
lovely.
Well,
and fun.
You said, what's next? And it's like, well, there's always,
there has to be.
Yeah.
We have to keep moving and keep producing and all of the things. So you've got a little mystery, a little comedy, a little sentimental, a little scary.
We do, yes. 100%, yeah.
You've got all the bases covered. Thank you.
Sure.
No, don't. You go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I just hope, it's my wish that, everyone who listens to your podcast or sees your podcast, watches your podcast, would see what we see when I walk into this beautiful theater. My wife, Carolyn, is the executive director of the Plaza Theater, and she and I remember the first time we ever walked in here was in 2005. And we were like, oh my gosh, this place is unbelievable. Yeah.
It just exceeds all expectations. When you top those doors there.
That's when people walk in, because, it's a little opening in the front of the street, and then they walk in and they open the doors and they go, oh my gosh, I had no idea this place was like this. And then when you see, man, I'm telling you, the concerts, the events, and the stuff that go on here in our plays and the things, it's just such a wonderful facility. And man, we would love to see it stay open for another 100 years, so people's grandchildren and great-grandchildren can actually use this wonderful space.
Yeah, it needs to, because it's a jewel.
It really is a jewel. And so many small towns like Glasgow, they had small theaters like this, or theaters, because this is not considered a huge theater. But there's so many of those downtown theaters that have gotten windowed up, or what do you call that?
Boarded up.
Boarded up, thank you. That just, can't continue. But so let's not let that happen with what we do here. And everyone, there's a big thing about supporting local.
Sure.
Well, I'm telling you can't get any more local than the Plaza Theater and the Far Off Broadway Players. And we need help just like everybody else. Far Off Broadway is just a small little
production company,
nonprofit theater company, and without the help of people buying tickets and sponsors and stuff like that, it makes it really difficult for us to continue to do what we do.
Yeah.
So
and it's so fun. I mean, we've come for the weekend, and we've stayed on the square.
Of course.
And we've
eaten.
We've had supper out. We've had drinks after the show. We've come to the show. We've had drinks after the show. I kind of went straight to that drink part, but
that's okay.
But we've come to the show. We've shopped. We've had delicious bakery items for breakfast the next morning. I mean, it is a great spot in Glasgow. Glasgow is a great spot where you can pull in for the night.
Yep.
Have everything that's walkable, live entertainment where people have worked so hard, whether it's you or, a musician who's here, whoever's on this stage. I feel like we can confidently say a lot of effort has gone in before they stepped foot here.
It is such a great location if you want to get away for the weekend and you want a great place to stay. There are numerous beautiful Airbnbs in this area, and other hotels and stuff like that. There's also wonderful restaurants here in town, on the square, locally, or just off the square. If you like coffee, we have some great coffee shops.
You've got coffee wrapped up.
You've got
shopping wrapped up. I mean,
yes.
Bookstore, several different types of shops, a little thrifting here and there, a little trendy.
Yes.
I mean, you all have it wrapped up.
It's absolutely beautiful. And then you have this wonderful, wonderful anchor called the Plaza Theater. And, a local community theater group who does really good shows. I'm sorry, I'm kind of biased with that.
Yeah,
but
you can be.
But what a great weekend to get away.
Yeah.
Things are expensive, and we understand that. But if you live 60, 70, 80 miles away, and you want to get away for the weekend and not, spend the thousands and thousands of dollars you would have to go to somewhere else if you're going to go up to the Smokies or you're going to do something like that, come here, and spend some time here, because I think it's just a great place to come visit.
And we felt that. We had a great time the last weekend we happened in.
Yeah.
It was fabulous. And we don't live even 60 miles away. It was just enough to get away and settle in and, kind of catch up with yourself, as they say. Sometimes our lives go so fast
they do.
that if we don't give ourselves, some break.
We have a couple who we befriended. Carolyn and I were down in Biloxi for a small vacation down on the Gulf, and we met this couple who lived just outside of Nashville, and they were just so interested in what we both do, so we started talking about it. Well, long story short, that's what they do. They live a little over an hour away, hour and 10 minutes, and they'll come up here and spend the weekend. They'll come see our shows. They'll come to concerts, and they stay at one of the Airbnbs in town and, go over for lunch over at Little Taste of Texas or whatever, and they will just, and they say, I'm so glad we met you.
That's right. How would they have known?
Right.
Right.
Right. So, I hear that all the time.
You all do make a great road trip destination, and let's wrap up with you all offer season tickets, correct? People can purchase the entire season of shows.
We have a deadline on those.
Okay.
We usually open our subscriptions just before Christmas, in late November, somewhere around there. And then you can usually purchase a subscription all the way up until the opening date of our first show of the following year. So
for this year, it'll be April 24th.
Yeah, well, our first show, we already had our first show.
Oh, you've already had your first show. Okay,
yeah,
gotcha.
that was about 4 weeks ago in March. We did a Jane Austen play.
Oh, that's right.
Yep.
Yes.
So for next year, we will be offering those subscriptions. And then what we do, our regular ticket price is $20 to come see a show. Yes, $20. So what we usually do for our subscriptions is we offer all 4 shows for $60.
Wow.
Which is $5 off a ticket for each, so $20 savings.
Or one show free.
Right, one show free. Yeah. So, and we have quite a few subscribers. It seems like we always get, 80, 75, 80, 85 subscribers who subscribe to all of our shows, and they come from all over. We have people from Campbellsville, from Lexington, from Bowling Green, from Louisville, who come down and love our shows, and they know how to save a buck. So yeah.
Now tell us your website where people can go and get more information.
For our particular shows, if you want to check out, because we hold local auditions and we're always looking for volunteers locally, it's faroffbroadwayplayers.com.
Okay.
And for ticketing, you can just go to historicplaza.com.
Okay.
And that's not only for our shows, that's for all the Plaza Theater shows. Yeah. So, which are also incredibly reasonably priced compared to going to Nashville or, wherever you might go for another concert. So.
Gotcha. Well, thank you so much.
Oh, well, thank you for having me. It was great to have.
It's been enlightening, for sure, to talk to you about everything that goes into what you all do here.
Well, I really appreciate it, and anytime. And I promise not to talk so much.
Oh, you did good.
Okay. Well, thank you. Anything else you want to? Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day.